Here comes your race winner, and we are going to walk with him and say many, many congratulations, George. Shall I come this side? So we'll sandwich you. We'll sandwich you. Come on, give us your emotions right now.
No, mega happy. It was kind of the race that we were expecting. Like chaotic start, difficult to manage the battery, yo-yoing a bit with the overtakes. So I don't know how it looked on TV, but it
looked great on TV.
Did it look good on TV? Right, good.
Yeah,
I just mean the closing speeds are so big with these new cars, but it was mega.
What about that start though from the Ferraris?
I was looking at my mirrors at Hajar, and then I had them covered, and then he just came out of nowhere. So fair play to him. And I thought I had him at one point, passed him, he passed me, but. Yeah, good race. I didn't use my boost button here, and he got me. That was a mistake on my side. So, yeah, interesting one.
Well done from all of us. Congratulations. First win of the season in the bag. Must feel pretty good. But given the qualifying we had yesterday, I didn't expect Ferrari to push you so close in the race. What was your opinion?
The same, to be honest. I don't think we expected that. And I think it's like we said yesterday, I don't think we overachieved. I think a lot of teams underperformed in qualifying, didn't probably adapt to the conditions well enough, and we just sort of nailed it. Today was more aligned to what we thought. Like we maybe had a 10th or 2 pace advantage, but not the 7/10 that we saw yesterday.
And just to give people at home a feel, like we unfortunately lost Oscar Piastri very early on the laps to grid. How tricky was it out there to learn these cars, to learn these regs, to get the best out of it as you were going? Because you've not done this before.
Yeah, incredibly difficult. This circuit, along with probably Monza and Spa, are going to be the most challenging tracks of the year. I think next race in China, things will be much more straightforward for us to manage. So I think, obviously, in hindsight, maybe here wasn't the best place to start the season, even though Melbourne, in my eyes, is the best place to start the year. But in turn, it created some decent racing.
George, from the fans' perspective, I mean, obviously, we would like to see it be more than just an intra-team battle, and Ferrari, as I say, I mean, how worried are you about this little turbo that they've got that seems to get them off the line? Catapult
yeah.
off the line.
I think it was more of a sense of we all just had horrendous starts, and they had a sensible start. And, you know, Kimi and I both rocked up on the grid, and we were at 0% on our battery. So that was really concerning and probably contributed to our bad start. But, you know, these are all part of the learnings. And as I said, I probably took more margin than I needed because I thought we had the pace just to cruise by and win the race. But Charles made it more challenging than I would have liked.
Just quickly, George, to go to a more normal question for me, I guess. That one-stop strategy, we've had this George Russell strategy before. Early stop under a safety car. Yeah. I can make it to the end on these tyres. I know you don't believe me. How confident were you in that when you were doing that very early stop lap?
I thought the tyre, it wouldn't drop until I got to like 0% tyre wear, like all the tyre rubber disappearing. So that's why the last couple of laps I was a bit concerned, I must say. But I just felt confident in the car, and I felt confident in the car. I knew where to push, where to save, and fortunately, just brought it home.
That's invaluable to a team, isn't it?
I haven't seen Toto smiling so much for a good few years.
I think that's good. His son won his first heat and go-karting yesterday as well, so it's been a hell of a weekend for him.
We're just going to follow you down after you.
Thank you.
I just want to know, from inside, there have been some grumblings from some of the drivers about, you know, the way that you've got to drive these cars. It's not 100% all the time because you've got to manage the harvesting and the deployment. And Alex was saying it just like exploded his mind. There's so much information. Have you changed your style? I mean, you have to, don't you?
You have to. Yeah. You have to, but the same way as last year when we had porpoise in, I had to change my driving style on high speed. Otherwise, the car would bounce off the track. You know, is it perfect right now? No, but it's race one of a long set of regulations, and it's probably the worst track for it. So I think we just got to give it some time before everyone's kicking off. And even though it wasn't maybe the most fun to drive, it actually made some pretty good drama on TV. So
absolutely did.
you can't have it all.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic on TV, but I just want to think, it's obviously too early to ask too many questions this season, but how confident are you for the rest of the season at this stage? That Mercedes looks unstoppable,
it's way too early to say, because right now we're obviously the team to beat. However, things change very quick, teams develop very quick, so I'm going to enjoy the moment.
Thanks, George. Many congratulations.
Hi, Lewis. Is there a feeling of what if right now? No, good. Okay. So you don't feel a missed opportunities not pitting under the VSC?
I really don't know. I have to go back and have a look, but I'm generally really proud of the team. I think we've done an amazing job to get the car to where it is. Of course, we're not as fast as Mercedes. We've got work to do, but we're right in the fight. And it was a really fun race, and it felt good for me. Also, a couple more laps and I would have had Charles. So had great pace. Lots and lots of positives to take from today.
Still smiling.
Yeah,
definitely. Good. Glad to see it.
Lewis, yesterday, after qualifying, you remained positive. Did you know your performance wasn't what it was yesterday? That you could show something better during the race? Yesterday, after the qualifying result, you maintained your positivity.
Yeah.
Did you know that your real potential was what you have shown today?
I think all weekend I've been really strong, and qualifying really didn't show the true pace. I think we had a few problems through qualifying, which meant that I was further back than I should have been. Anyways, went into today. Of course, none of us really knew what the true pace was going to be, but I felt great from the get-go, and was obviously closing the gap right at the end to Charles. A couple more laps that I think I would have had Charles, so maybe 1 or 2 more laps. So there's lots and lots of positives to take from it. We've got a lot of work to do to catch Mercedes, but it's not impossible. So really to a big grazie tutti to everyone back at the factory. I'm really proud of everybody for the work that we got, but we still got to keep pushing, keep digging deep, and I'm excited for I'll keep pushing into the next race.
It's just a sunrise of this new era, new season.
So what?
Sunrise.
What do you mean sunrise?
When the sun is
sunrise.
Yes, sunrise. Do you think that this gap with Mercedes is possible to close?
I do. That's what I said. Yeah, I do believe we can close the gap. I think it's not going to be easy. It's got a lot of work to do to close it because it's quite significant, particularly on a single lap. We need to find out whether it's power or it's battery power, but the car is just as quick through the corners, so we just got to keep pushing.
Grazie.
Hi Max. We're having a VT put together of your overtakes today because you had some fantastic ones. I know you wouldn't have wanted to start where you did, but did you enjoy it? You got the most?
No, not really. No. I mean, yeah, of course the overtakes were fun, but I mean I'm also racing cars that are 2 seconds slower, So for me, it's just clearing the traffic. It sounds maybe weird, but it's just how I see it. It's not really a fair fight, So I just tried to go through as clean as possible and tried to get into my rhythm at one point when I cleared the midfield. But we had too much tech. We were just really graining a lot on the tires. And that then compromised a lot the rest of the race. We thought with a hard compound that it would be better today for us, but unfortunately that compound somehow didn't work today.
Lando thinks your car's definitely quicker than theirs at the moment, but where do you think it is in terms of the Ferrari and the Mercedes? Mercedes look like they've got this edge over everyone, at least around here, could change track to track.
They will be quick everywhere.
You think so?
Yeah, for sure. But with McLaren, I don't know. I mean, in Bahrain, it looked like they were faster. It's very hard to say. I think we just need to see track by track. But I mean, at the end of the day, it also doesn't really matter if you're third fastest or fourth fastest. We are aiming for the top, right? So we just try to work to that steadily. I hope, of course, throughout the season we can close that gap because at the moment it's still a decent gap.
All right, thank you. Thanks, man. Hi, Lando. How did that pan out in the end? I know you finished fifth and the Mercedes and Ferrari are ahead, which is maybe where you thought the pace was, but how did it pan out?
Clearly not. We finished pretty where we deserved to. I think it was really quite clear the Red Bull was a lot quicker, just because Max came from last and almost beat us. So not the best race in terms of pace, but we struggled with some things on the car at the beginning. We made some tweaks, and that certainly improved things. I sort of just we're nowhere near where we need to be, clearly. but probably more so from a car perspective. I think today showed a lot more from a car that we're a long way off, like a very, very long way off, and we have a lot of work to do.
Were the team cautious? Did they change anything before the start because of what happened to Oscar, or were you running the same car?
Running the same car.
Okay. So work to do then. By the time we've only got a week till we're in China again, so it's going to take some time, I guess.
Yeah, this is nothing that's going to happen overnight or in 1 week or 2 weeks' time. I mean, I don't know what the gap was, 50, almost a second lap off. So not quite like that, but you would say at least 5/10, 6/10 lap off, and then some of that is still understanding the PU. Some of it's just a better car. I think Ferrari, from what we see, quite clearly have the best car. The cornering speeds are unbelievable. So for us to match that is zero chance at the minute, and we have to work very hard to understand things and learn as much as we can from this part of the season, because this part of the season now sets up the rest of it basically. So the more we can learn, the more we can understand, the better we'll be at the end of the season. But it's looking like it's going to be a long one, a tough one. But I was happy with P5 today.
Oscar, sorry to see you standing here. Can you tell us what was going on in the car and what you felt?
We had a bit of an issue out of the pits with no battery basically, and then with the actual crash there was a combination of a couple of things. I think there's a large element of just me. Cold tires, clipped the exit curb, but I also had 100 kilowatts more power than I expected. So you put all of those together, and unfortunately it ends in the result we got. But it's obviously just disappointing and a scenario that shouldn't be happening.
We're hearing a lot about torque spike and this extra power you get. Can you just explain that for us and for the people watching into what you're dealing with this year?
I mean, in mine specifically, there's a lot of rules about how the power units have to work, and essentially I was at less throttle than what I was in qualifying, and the way the rules kind of stipulate how the torque demand has to work, I actually got 100 kilowatts more power than if I would have been at full throttle. So it's
something to get used to.
Yes.
Thanks, Oscar. Thank you.
Isaac, what problem have you had since you started? Is it difficult to understand and try to explain to us?
I think temperature's problem, no battery, and then the engine sound was terrible, and I knew it was going to explode at some point. It's a shame. I did everything perfect on the procedures, everything up until the start, and that's it.
What do you save from this weekend?
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, grazie.
Ollie, as you swapped places with Arvid, you had some pretty big battles on track as well today, you two.
Yeah, we were going for it. That guy was doing an excellent job and really, really tough to overtake. I think, one thing we've seen over the weekend is that car and also the Red Bull, they have what feels like a bigger battery than the rest of us, and to overtake is incredibly challenging. It was a shame. I really felt like I had a lot more pace than him at the start, but he did a great job defending, and I was trying to overtake, and then when you don't overtake, you have to spend like 5 laps for charging, and it's a bit of a nightmare. Finally, I managed to, after he did a small mistake, but really without that small mistake, I don't think I would have passed him, just because of how strong they were in terms of efficiency on battery. So, I was happy with the race. Once I got ahead, I then could kind of find my rhythm a bit better, but definitely my tires were a bit damaged after pushing that hard to overtake him. But Arvid did a great job on his first weekend, and I was happy to fight with him. The last time we raced on track together was in cadets when we were like 10 years old, so it's funny.
Great stuff. We've only got a week, and I know China's a different circuit. What would you like the team to find some answers to between now and then from what you experienced today?
I think it's quite a specific track, this one. Compared to China, we don't expect to really suffer the same issues or difficulties on energy and deployment and all of these things. But there's been a lot of things we've learned today regardless, and like I've been saying really this whole weekend, this is kind of the worst case scenario because it's the most demanding on the MGUK and the most demanding on recovery and energy. So when we get to China, I expect to have an easier time of it anyway, but still all of the learnings that we will have taken this weekend need to be digested well and then put into practice next week.
Great stuff, well done today, thanks. Points, your first Formula One race, how are you feeling and how was it?
It was pretty nuts, to be honest. I don't really know what to think right now. I mean, at one point I think I was like P3 or something at the end of lap 1, which is pretty nuts to think about. And yeah, it was a crazy race. I mean, yeah, I don't really know what to say right now. I'm very happy to score points. I think that was, after qualifying yesterday, I thought that was the goal. And I think from a procedural point of view, I think I did things right. I got stuck in on lap 1, I did a good start. I tried to manage all the VSCs, the pit stop, everything well. I think there was a few things in the middle of the race on management and with them, and I think I could have done better, but generally I think it's really positive. And yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun out there, and a race I'll remember forever.
What's the biggest thing you learned?
How nuts these races I think are going to be this year.
All right, great, that'll do. Thank you.